The world is a beautiful place. However, there are some spots that you should avoid at all costs. You could be looking at moving to a new country or simply traveling for work or pleasure. These places could spell your doom. Are you ready to find out what they are? Well, here are 10 of the most dangerous places in the world. Number 10. Venezuela. There's no doubt that South America is one of the most beautiful places on Earth. From the Amazon rainforest to Patagonia, it is full of natural wonders. However, it is also home to some of the deadliest cities in the world. One example is the capital city of Caracas in Venezuela. This is where you will find deadly crime and high murder rates. It's said that this country has one of the highest homicide rates in the entire world. It is even worse than war-torn Syria. In fact, according to the United Nations, the homicide rate in Venezuela is 3 times higher than the average in the United States. The government has done everything they can to stop this, but it's just not working. With so many people living in poverty, crime is only going to get worse. But it isn't just Caracas that you need to worry about. Wandering around other parts of the country could see you become a victim of crime. In fact, just walking down the street is enough to put you in danger. There are countless reports of robberies, kidnappings, and murders. This country really is one of the most dangerous places to visit. And if you do go there, make sure you don't flash any cash or expensive jewelry. Also, keep your phone out of sight and don't use it while you're out and about. Number 9. Detroit, USA. Crime is something that happens all over the United States, but there is one city that takes the crown for the most dangerous city in the country. According to the FBI, Detroit is by far the most dangerous place to live in the United States. In fact, it's so bad that it's been dubbed the murder capital of the United States. Violent crime rates are very high here, along with the rates of property crimes. In fact, every 20 minutes someone is the victim of a violent crime in Detroit. This has led to many people leaving the city for somewhere safer. However, this has led to a lot of abandoned homes and buildings which have become eyesores. It's a real shame because Detroit used to be an amazing place. It was once home to some of the biggest car manufacturers in the world. Now it's just a shadow of its former self. No. 8. Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Back to South America we go as we take a look at Rio de Janeiro. This is one of the most visited cities in the world. It's home to some of the most incredible beaches, not to mention the famous Christ the Redeemer statue. However, it's also one of the most dangerous places on Earth. This is mainly due to the extreme gang violence that goes on here. There are 2 main rival gangs, and they battle it out on the streets causing carnage. Because of this, thousands of people have had to leave their homes and become internally displaced. Not only that, but tourists visiting Rio are often targeted by pickpockets and muggers. Make sure to keep your wits about you if you plan to visit here. No. 7. Ciudad Juarez, Mexico. Our next city is another place you should avoid at all costs, Ciudad Juarez. Again, this is another place where gang violence is rife. In fact, it's so bad here that there is a gang literally called the Bloods. You may be wondering why anyone would want to live here. Well, it's close to the American border, so many people enter the city every day for work reasons. Because of this, there is a lot of money around and the gangs want it. So what is the safest way to travel? Well, it's by boat. This is why. No. 6. The Dominican Republic. This is an island nation located in the Caribbean. For many years it has been a popular place for Brits to go on holiday to. However, in recent years, it has become a dangerous place for British holidaymakers. In fact, in 2021, a British national was shot dead after refusing to hand over his Rolex watch. Violent crime is getting worse in the Dominican Republic, and it seems like there is little the police can do to stop it. It's not just tourists that are being targeted either. Locals are also being murdered in their own country. If you do decide to visit the Dominican Republic, then make sure you don't wear any expensive jewelry and don't walk around with expensive cameras or phones out. It's also best to avoid displaying large amounts of cash while you're here. No. 5. Johannesburg, South Africa. South Africa is one of the most beautiful countries on earth. Its wildlife and nature are second to none. But it's also home to some of the worst slums in the world. One of these is located in Johannesburg, and it's called Alex. It's one of the most densely populated places in the entire world, and there isn't enough resources for everyone who lives here. Because of this, crime is rampant in this area, and if you're caught with something valuable, it's likely you'll be robbed. Number 4. Kinshasa, Democratic Republic of the Congo. This is the second largest city in Africa, with over 10 million people living here. However, it's also one of the most dangerous cities in the world. In fact, it's considered to be more dangerous than Detroit. Violent crime rates are extremely high here, along with child mortality rates. Widespread poverty is causing people to descend into lawlessness. And with the government struggling to keep control, it's likely that things will get worse before they get better. No. 3. Los Santos, El Salvador. El Salvador is a small country located between Honduras and Nicaragua. It's a very beautiful country and has some stunning beaches and nature. However, it's also home to some of the worst violence in the world. The capital, San Salvador, is a very dangerous place to live, with over 65 homicides per 100,000 people. There are several different gangs in this city, and they're constantly battling each other for territory. This results in innocent people being caught in the crossfire. If you ever visit here, then make sure you don't show any wealth. Also, try not to wander around alone. It's best to stick with your friends and family and avoid any dodgy-looking areas. No. 2. Karansebes, Serbia. Back to Europe we go as we take a look at Karansebes. This is the second largest city in Serbia and has a population of around 250,000 people. During World War II, it was heavily bombed and much of the city was destroyed. Since then, it has become a place where crime runs rampant. There are several different gangs here and they are constantly fighting with each other. The Serbian government is trying to crack down on the violence, but it's difficult when there is widespread poverty around. After all, desperate times call for desperate measures. Number 1. Mogadishu, Somalia. Last but certainly not least, we have Mogadishu. This is the capital of Somalia and is widely known to be the most dangerous city in the entire world. There is so much violence here that most of the country's infrastructure has been destroyed. Not only that, but hundreds of thousands of people have been displaced from their homes. Most of the violence is caused by the militant group Al-Shabaab. They carry out attacks on civilians and government buildings on a daily basis. This has led to thousands of deaths and injuries. As you can imagine, this is the kind of place you should avoid at all costs. Have you ever been to any of these places? Let us know in the comments section below. As always, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, share and subscribe to this channel for more interesting, educative videos.